knows.
Good morning. You're listening to The Morning Buzz on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. And it is Wednesday, September 7th, 2022. I'm Leslie Gallagher, joined by Jake Goetz, Cass Diaferio. Yeah,
there you go.
There we go. I'm so sorry. Aiden Ivers and our producer, Laura Zaccardi. How are we all doing this morning?
Great.
Doing very well. I'm excited for a new semester.
We are. It is a brand new semester. We are here on the Buzz, ready to give you the news. And we're all feeling pumped and ready and energized. And I'm excited to be back on the show. But I digress. Today, we've got a great show for you today. We're going to be talking about restricted documents FBI found in Trump's Florida state, some lingering mask mandates, of course, Harry Styles, and much, much more to come. But first, I'm going to hand it off to Aiden with our newscast.
Thank you. Leslie. Good morning, everybody. My name is Aiden Ivers, coming at you live from 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. As we just mentioned, it's the first Wednesday buzz of the fall semester. The positivity is flowing right now in the studio, and we've got some news to cover. So in national news, according to NPR.org, the United States government may treat COVID like the normal flu moving forward, meaning annual shots for any circulating new variant may become something commonplace for all of us. We've heard a little bit about how new COVID variants have been circulating already, and it's going to be pretty interesting once that does become a thing for us, if we have to get shots like that. And in statewide news, according to NJ.com, some fantastic, great news coming out of Bergen County, as Cresskill Middle and High School finally reopened yesterday, as just 1 year prior, the Hurricane Ida caused significant flooding damage to the school, and they had to spend lots of money on repairing it from that storm. And yesterday, they finally opened for the 2022-2023 school year. So that's really awesome for that school. And in local news, according to Montclair Local, the school district of Montclair is in the process of creating pre-applications for its pre-K 3 and 4-year-old program, as it awaits the word from the New Jersey government toward how it will assist the Montclair School District with offering it to its residents. And for weather, we step into another humid day today with a high of 72 and a low of 61 with humidity at 78%, followed by a high of 80 and a low of 59 on Thursday. And into this weekend, we're going to have the last chance to enjoy the hot summer days, as we will be in also the low 80s all weekend with a high of 80 and a low of 64 on Saturday, and high of 84 and a low of around 62 on Sunday with cloudy skies. This has been your hour 1 and inaugural Fall Wednesday newscast here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. Back to you, Leslie.
Thank you so much, Aiden. It's sad to see that our summer weather is dwindling, but I digress. Now we have Ms. Laura Zaccardi with our sportscast.
Sports news. We have some sports. Hi, Facebook. Hi, iHeartRadio. Thank you guys for listening. Anyway, I got some sports. Anyway, as of right now, the Mets are tied for first place with the Atlanta Braves. And yesterday, the Mets played the Pittsburgh Pirates, but they lost 2-8. On Monday, the Yankees played against the Minnesota Twins, but it's okay. They won 5-2. Yay. But this afternoon, the Mets have a doubleheader against the Pirates at 12:35 and 6:35. And the Yankees also have a doubleheader with the Twins starting at 3:05 and 6:35. We're going to move on to some Red Hawk sports news. The MSU women's soccer team is expected to play Vassar College today at 7 p.m. As of right now, the Lady Red Hawks' overall score is 3-0. The men's soccer team is set to play University of La Varenne tomorrow at 10 p.m. The Gent Red Hawks, because, we believe in equality here on the Morning Buzz, have an overall score of 1-0-2. So, yeah, that was your sports. Go sports, go team, go sports.
Thank you, Laura, for that sports cast, because you can't say it any other way, apparently. Anyways, moving on to our first big news story for today. FBI found document on foreign nuclear defenses at Mar-a-Lago, and this is from theguardian.com. So yesterday, the Washington Post reported that the FBI recovered a document describing a foreign government's nuclear capabilities during its search of Mar-a-Lago. The Post, citing unnamed sources, did not identify the foreign government named in the document describing the country's military defenses. The content of more than 11,000 government documents and photographs FBI agents recovered from Trump's Florida estate last month has not been revealed. However, previous reporting from the Post indicated in classified documents about nuclear weapons were among the items federal authorities were looking for. The newspaper reported some of the records seized from Donald Trump's Florida estate are typically closely guarded and have a designated control officer to monitor the document's location. Among the records recovered by the FBI were documents detailing top secret U.S. operations that require special clearances on a need-to-know basis beyond a top secret clearance. Some of the Biden administration's most senior national security officials were not authorized to review some of the documents because they are so restricted. Trump is under investigation by the Justice Department for his unauthorized removal of highly sensitive government records from the White House and for allegedly improperly storing them at the Florida estate.
Well, first of all, Leslie, I think it's a short G in
Mar-a-Lago.
Mar-a-Lago, not the long G.
Okay.
With Mike.
Yeah, that's
You're
very close.
It's a great.
Very
We're
close.
doing a great start to our show.
But this
with
is
several mispronunciations, but it's A-okay.
Just the one. It's fine. It's very early in the morning.
It's 7:07 a.m.
Yeah, that's early.
We're only
I'm
7
not
minutes into the
early.
show. It's
and-
okay.
But this do in fact be pretty wild. Having just nuclear documents just in your house is
Yes.
that'd be a pretty weird thing to have. Like, what would you do if you just had like an entire country's nuclear defense systems? Just like, I don't know. What do you
Showpiece.
What would I personally do?
Like-
I don't know how I would even get that.
right? Exactly. Well, that's
But that's a
the thing.
different thing. It's former President Trump.
You're
and I
not
guess
supposed to have that.
you're not supposed to have that. Not even I guess.
And
in
it
that
does
position. It shouldn't be in
Yeah.
your personal
Mhm.
property.
and it does
It
really
should be in the White House.
kind of ask a lot of prompt a lot of questions, like what could you possibly want with that? Because it seems like
Yeah.
it's not like Trump was just like, dude was president, he's running around with some papers. President's I'm sure I've heard it's a tough job in some ways.
Oh, it's a little
It could
difficult.
be stressful running an entire country, I guess. So maybe all right, you move some papers. It doesn't sound like that was what happened here. It sounds like
Well, we
they
have
made a pretty coordinated effort to
11,000
Yeah, so it's like a
documents and
lot of
photographs.
it's a lot.
That's a
of
lot,
stuff.
not just one or two things
Yeah.
he was holding on to. And
How do you keep that much in your house?
Well,
you gotta have a
it's
lot of
big
money and a
house.
lot of room.
It's a big house. Well, it's not a house. It's an
an
entire estate.
Yes, it's an estate. There's a room just for the documents, is what
Yeah,
Laura
there's probably a
Zaccardi
whole storage
thinks.
room. I see it.
Maybe, but then
That's the
that
thing.
seems a little too overt. I mean, it seems like he was trying to
You
hide
think
these
he
things
keeps
in his
them in,
house.
a
I
vault?
would assume.
Yeah, and I remember
But-
reading something. Sorry,
No, you're good.
remember reading something where it was like some of the documents counted towards they were, like a personal letter from before President Trump entered office. It was from like President Obama. So
Mhm.
that kind of thing is, I guess, like what presidents do to each other. Like they just share a letter about how they about
I thought that was really funny.
about like
Like they share
Yeah.
documents. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think the majority of these documents were just
They didn't very
nice
casual,
letters.
especially if
Yeah.
the FBI is
It
looking
seems
for
like
them.
this is pretty sensitive information. Well, very sensitive information, and I
Yeah.
really do think it's very questionable. Like, I don't know, it prompts so many questions, and I really do think I know that Trump has gotten away with a lot of stuff, but I don't see him getting away with this. Like, this is pretty
Mhm.
serious stuff.
Again,
and,
11,000.
but also it's like,
I'm not going to get over that number.
it also says how even people in the White House today, they're not allowed to look at that stuff because it's
Yeah.
so classified.
and it's
Yeah.
also like you don't need to know it. Like that's the
Exactly,
thing.
yeah.
That's how
Yeah.
most of the stuff in the White House works. It's
Yeah.
like you're not privy to something. I think that's a general organizational thing. Like you're not privy to something unless you need to know it unless it's directly implicated in what you're doing.
But if the documents are about like Area 51, then maybe that might spark some interest. That might
you
spark
don't
some
need to know about the aliens. All right, just don't worry about it. Just file your stuff you need to file. Do your job. Worry about the aliens. I don't know, when they're in your house.
Sure.
But yeah, no, a lot of questions. A lot of
questions and not a lot of answers.
Big sussy is all I have to say.
Absolutely. Cass, did you want to say something?
Oh no, I was just gonna say like how it says like how these documents are typically close guarded. Like
I noticed that.
It's like I'm like it's
Oh
weird,
yeah, like
how
this is
these documents have been in his house, like 11,000 documents.
Yeah, no, like, I want to be clear. Like this is the type of stuff that like if you're in the military, your life, like you have to guard that stuff with your life. Like you have to be willing to like die to keep these things not like
public.
Yeah, to keep these secrets.
Sensitive information.
Yeah, that's
that
how
not everyone
sensitive we're
needs to
talking
know.
about. And I don't know, the question of what he possibly could have wanted with these post presidency or what he was doing with them, it's very like I don't know. I'm kind of joking around because it's a fun show, but it is like extraordinarily suspect.
Well, and all
it is suspicious.
And I think when we look at the story, I think we should just leave it to people who fall whose responsibility it falls under, like the private government agents, to take care of it, because it's not our responsibility to know. It's theirs, so I think we should just let them sort this all out.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't like authority. Like,
cue the it's gonna sound so cringy, but cue the teenage dirtbag TikTok sound right now. It's just what I
Rage Against the Machine.
That's exactly what popped in my head when you said you don't like authority, Jake.
Yeah, but no, like unironically though, the public should always be like, I don't know, taking the information, obviously, like within reason. Like I think the state's always going to have certain secrets that like just by organizational necessity have to be kept under wraps. But I think whatever the public's aware of, they should be paying attention and scrutinizing.
Yeah. Well, since it is our first week of school, and of course we're in 2022 now, and of course the pandemic is still lingering, I was going to hand it off to Jake and talk about a lingering mask mandate at a local school.
Yes, of course. So first day of school in New Jersey's largest district includes new teachers and, fortunately, a lingering mask mandate. Yesterday, most schools in New Jersey opened for their first day. Newark Public Schools began the fourth academic year of the coronavirus pandemic with hundreds of new hires to address a teacher shortage and a lingering mask mandate even after the governor made masks optional for districts in March. According to NJ.com, the schools were following the lead of New York Mayor Ras Baraka, who maintained some of the state's strictest masking policies for non-district spaces and non-relaxing the requirement for the state's largest district. The message on the district's homepage said, quote, "Masks are required at all times when entering district facilities, locations, and properties. Welcome back. First day of school."
That's so funny.
Welcome back. Okay, first day of school. Okay. Masks have been, as we all know, controversial to some individuals since we've started wearing them. Particularly in southern and shore areas of the state, parents began turning up at Board of Education meetings, angrily demanding that local school officials do something about a statewide mandate by Governor Phil Murphy before he lifted it effective March 7th. Yesterday, spokespeople for the school district and the mayor's office did not respond to requests for comment, but the New Jersey Teachers Union said it supports the mask mandate.
Interesting. Well, at least here in Montclair State University, even though Governor Murphy lifted, or made it optional in March, the actual university didn't make it optional until May, after finals and classes were over.
Right. I have to say, we were discussing this before the show. This is the first buzz I've done in all my years, I guess since pre-COVID, that I've done it without a mask.
Yeah.
It's pretty
normally
wild.
bottom half of our faces were covered.
Yeah.
And
Facebook listeners,
our voices,
our beautiful faces.
Our voices were ever so slightly more muted.
Little...
I mean, you can still hear us.
Yeah,
it's definitely
different.
Little
quality to it.
But I mean, yeah, I mean, I know I don't know about your guys' experience in your classrooms about, if I have a class of 20, 30 people, about like maybe 2 people are wearing a mask.
Mm.
And it's because most people we know are probably opting not to wear it, including all of us in this
Yeah.
room.
Right.
And it seems that some people in Newark perhaps disagree.
Well, I mean, when I interviewed a few students before the semester ended last year about what their thoughts of Montclair state change in this, and they said, as young college students, we should know when is the right time to wear a mask, and when's the right time to leave it off, right? And then
Interesting.
and they said, like, if somebody, on the email, I'm sure you guys read it. Let's said if somebody,
Yeah, we read our
if
email.
if one of our fellow classmates asks you, hey, do you mind putting
Mhm.
one on? And it should be your responsibility to say to honor that comment
Yeah.
from them. And also something this semester, one of my classes, one of the teachers put out a statement on Canvas saying, even though the university has it optional, when people ask that you do wear it, it is appreciated. It's
Mhm.
appreciative if you do. And that was kind of indicative, saying that teacher would, like, she prefers
Mhm.
people to wear it, right?
I feel like if someone prefers you to wear it, they should
Yeah.
specifically say so. And I understand it is a matter of
Yeah.
respect.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, at the end of the day, it is up to someone. If someone
course,
asked
yeah.
me, I probably would mostly just, I mean, like, how much do I really like care?
Yeah.
I'm really happy to be in class and be, in radio and studio and everywhere else I go maskless.
Mm-hmm.
But if it was a problem, but then there's also the whole
Yeah.
debate. I think it's really interesting how you said that college students should know whether or not to wear it. And
Mhm.
that is just a hilarious statement to me, because the whole country didn't know when or when not to wear it
Yeah.
for 2-3 years. And like no one came. No, never did we ever come to a consensus of like when we should have worn them, when we should
Yeah.
not have worn them, because the country was so divided about it.
I don't know. For me, look, I don't know. I think it could be tough, but I think that like the science was clear.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's
Yeah.
not like we didn't know
Mhm.
what was up. It was just we did know, but I guess half the population just kind of decided they didn't want to hear it.
And Jake,
So-
I'm sure, like last semester, you remember when
Yeah.
Montclair said it, like masks were, like, it was you had to wear them last semester, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You walk around campus and there's tons of people either have masks below their nose or not wearing.
Oh,
them,
the below the nose
Below the nose.
bugs me.
always
It's either wear it or
sucks.
don't. Do not put it
Yeah,
below your
it's
nose.
like-
I at this point in time, I don't care what you do.
Eh,
But if you're gonna wear it,
yeah.
wear it right.
I think
Or just take it
overall,
off.
it was a positive move to make it optional, because that way, it's not,
Mhm.
because that if people don't wear it, it's it's justifiable, I guess you could say, because
Yeah.
it's optional now.
Yeah.
I do-
And it's funny because you mentioned science, and I don't, have too much about this, but a lot of evidence pointed to only like the, I want to say, N95 masks being more preventative.
They were definitely
'Cause-
more preventative, but I don't think
And like the cloth masks didn't do as much.
not as much, but I think they were still like effective.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then some
Yeah.
people were trying and wear the ones that were like the really thin cloth. And it's like, oh, masks are required. I'm wearing something over my face, so that's a
Right,
mask.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, you're complying, but
Mhm.
so it's, I don't know. I think it was very divided. So I just thought it was interesting how you say that.
Yeah.
And with children, I mean, we're in college now. We're all also like on Montclair State campus. The reason we don't have masks anymore is because we're required to be vaccinated to go here.
Right.
Of course, with exceptions for medical reasons or religious reasons that any one student can handle with the school on their own terms. But for the most part, that's why we don't need masks anymore here, and you can still wear one. But for children, I think it is a different sort of situation, because
Mhm.
not all of them can get vaccinated. I think it's 12 and up, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah. Yeah. So, we're all obviously above 12, last time I checked. But if you're below 12, you might be at some sort of different risk. So I don't know. I think, of course, masks will probably be controversial until the end of the time, but protecting children is always going to remain a priority, at least even to me, who doesn't have children, because it's important. I don't know. That's just my opinion.
Oh, but free the smiles, Leslie.
Yes. Yes. It's true. But I digress.
Yeah.
We shall move on to Russia. Russia. We're just gonna move to Russia. No, I'm kidding.
Let's not do that.
Let's not do that. Moving on to Russia and its buying of North Korean rockets and artillery to use in Ukraine. According to NBC News, a senior U.S. defense official said Russia is in the process of buying millions of rockets and artillery shells from North Korea to use in Ukraine, an indication that Western sanctions are severely hampering Moscow's military supply effort. Russia is seeking help from Kim Jong-un's regime at a time when it is also leaning on Iran for multiple military supplies. U.S. officials disclosed late last month that Russia received shipments of Iranian-produced drones. 3 U.S. officials told NBC News Russian cargo planes loaded up unmanned aerial vehicles over several days last month at an Iranian airfield and then ferried the drones to Russia. The delivery is part of Russia's plans to import hundreds of drones from Iran. But the drones transferred to Russia have already experienced numerous failures. They did not offer more details about the nature of the technical problems at this time.
Oh boy.
That is not very good.
Yeah, imagine just starting a war that you thought was going to be done in a couple, in days, weeks, and then it goes on for months, and it goes so horribly that you have to run to other countries for your military supply. It's pretty bad. It's a pretty bad situation to be in.
Yeah, and it's yeah.
Yeah.
I had words and then I just sort of lost them.
Quite bad. And another interesting thing that's going on with the Russian army is that they're not getting a lot of folks, and they're losing a lot.
Yes, they are, because people in their own country don't necessarily stand with those values and beliefs.
Yeah,
so people are not volunteering.
It's interesting because Putin's opting not to do a draft despite them losing their numbers, because
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, they're not doing a draft, and the speculated reason for that is because he doesn't want to make it seem, even though he's kind of trying to play it the West is trying to destroy Russia and there's this grave threat. He's trying to act like kind of everything's normal and not breach that sense of normality for Russian citizens. And I don't know. I think it's really about just maintaining that control, maintaining the public, comfortability, or at least that veneer of, normal life and everything. So there's still some support for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think, looking at the story, I think that what we should do, from where we are, I think we should just try to not be as try to avoid being anxious about this as possible, because reading the story like this, Russia buying a bunch of nuclear weapons, that could lead.
They're not buying nuclear weapons. They're buying artillery.
That's
and rockets.
Yeah, but it could lead to think, what could happen from this? But I think, the best thing to do right now is just hope nothing terrible happens from this.
Mm-hmm.
Something that would publicly be in the news,
So the problem with that is that something terrible is going to happen with it. It's also been happening.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. And I do think that people should be anxious about it. I think people should be concerned about it.
Yeah.
And I think in terms of the more, I understand that in the news, a lot of attention is paid to the nuclear aspect of those prospects. And should pay attention. Could be bad. But I think I don't know. I don't think that's the primary thing that should be looked at. I think it should be, understanding what they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I guess trying to influence U.S. policy through advocacy and, writing what the best way to respond to that is. But it's hard. It's a hard conversation. It's a very dire global situation. And yeah, no, obviously don't stress yourself out about it.
Yeah.
And like, stuff. It's hard, but it's definitely cause for concern.
Of course.
Mhm.
Yes. Thank you for wording that, Jake. It is a tough thing to think about, a tough conversation. That's why exactly we are going to take a break here on 90.3 WC Upper Montclair. We will be right back in just a few minutes.
I want to get back to seeing my grandbaby.
Welcome back. You are listening to the Morning Buzz on 90.3 WC Upper Montclair. This is the Wednesday edition, September 7th, in case you forgot the date. Good morning if you're just waking up, by the way, because it is only 7:30. But anyways, my name is Leslie Gallagher. I'm joined by Jake Goetz, Castia Feria,
Hey.
Aiden Ivers, and
Hello.
our producer behind the scenes, Lara Zaccardi, and all the other people at
Waiting for
WMSC that make it so lovely. And we were talking about a pretty harsh topic when we were, last on here on our short break. But
That do be news.
Yes, it do be news. That's how it is. That's how it goes. I'm gonna hand it off to Jake. to talk
Thank
about
you.
all things. You just take it away.
Yeah, you got pods, bro?
I don't know how to tease that.
Yeah, no. So Juul to pay nearly $440 million settlement to state's teen vaping probe. Yeah. So according to AP News, electronic cigarette maker Juul Labs have agreed to pay nearly $440 million to settle a 2-year investigation. This is by 33 states into the marketing of its high nicotine vaping products, which have long been blamed for sparking national surge in teen vaping. Connecticut Attorney General William Tong announced the deal yesterday on behalf of the states plus Puerto Rico, which have joined together in 2020 to probe Juul's early promotions and claims about the benefits of its technology as a smoking alternative. The settlement, which includes numerous restrictions on how Juul can market its products, resolves one of the biggest legal threats facing the beleaguered company, which still faces 9 separate lawsuits from other states. Additionally, Juul faces hundreds of personal lawsuits brought on behalf of teenagers and others who say they have become addicted to the company's vaping products. According to a statement, the state's investigation found that Juul marketed its e-cigarettes to underage teens with launch parties, product giveaways, and ads and social media posts using useful models. Tong said at a news conference, quote, "We think that this will go a long way in stemming the flow of youth vaping. I'm under no illusion and cannot claim that it will stop youth vaping. It continues to be a huge problem. But we have essentially taken a big chunk out of what was once a market leader, and by their conduct, a major offender."
This is an ongoing problem, I think, with a lot of people our age and maybe middle school, definitely high school and college age, and possibly older.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that they're trying to lessen that. And especially what is alarming to me is how they would do giveaways and launch parties.
Yeah, that's
That's
pretty
not
wild,
really
right?
And like anything in marketing nowadays, the easiest way to get your product out there, generally speaking, again, just my opinion, my voice, I'm not the end all be all, but using pretty looking people who will model it
Yeah.
and
Yo.
influence.
Click the link in the description if you want to buy new Juul vaping stuff.
Yeah. Gosh.
Yeah.
Yes, so that is a common marketing technique, but also this is a very highly addictive thing.
Yeah.
That I've
Reading-
heard ruins people's lives.
Yeah, reading
So-
it does, Leslie, and I'll tell you exactly why. It relates to, I'm reading this story and I have to think back to my high school. I came from a Catholic high school, right? And while I was there before the pandemic, they implemented a policy where they basically said if you go to the bathroom to vape and you get caught, you're out. You're
Yeah.
automatically expelled. Done.
Wow.
At least they were harsh about it, which is
Mhm.
kind of
That
a
is,
thing,
and yeah, actually,
which
I'm sorry. Yeah, I witnessed
That's a
people.
little, I don't know.
No.
I mean,
That's a lot.
I mean, yeah, a lot of some people. I heard some people say like, well, they're teenagers. They don't really know that. They don't really have that morale yet. I don't think. So that was like
Yeah.
a really strict thing.
if you were scared of the rules, then I guess it would discourage you from doing it.
Yeah.
Although you would say they would get expelled.
On the dot. Like,
That's
right
pretty
there.
wild.
See that,
right?
like, but you were from a Catholic school.
And
That's
it's
pretty
also, like-
standard for Catholic schools, so that's not really that
Somebody
shocking.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was a public school, I'd be a little more shocked.
Well,
No,
yeah.
that'd be absolutely insane if they did that.
Well, I
at a
mean,
public
Leslie,
school.
it's like people are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars
Yeah.
a year for sending their students there, and it's
They
really
don't want
amazing.
that around their kid if you're
really-
sitting your kid there. And
Yeah,
right,
to me,
like,
it's
it
really
makes sense.
amazing how like a snap of a finger
Mhm.
that could all just be changed forever. Because
I don't know.
because I witnessed people like walk down with the dean from the bathroom to the
Aw.
office after being getting caught in the bathroom,
Oh,
and
that
it wasn't like a fire alarm; it was silent. So
Mhm.
if like the dean found out, you
Right.
would just come in there
Mhm.
and that'd be it.
And
Yeah.
that definitely. You go ahead, Jake.
I'm sorry, but that seems to me like more of a story of like pediological abuse than the dangers of vaping.
I mean, yeah, but in the
Did you
think-
think that it like cut down vaping, or like was
Well,
it just a regular thing?
you
that
think,
was
like-
continued?
you get kicked out of school for vaping,
people found
you're
their
gonna
way
stop
around it.
vaping.
So, yeah, maybe
Yeah.
like
People found their way,
people-
and that
like
too.
they
But
like the up in the window, whatever. They let it out there so they wouldn't get caught by
Right,
the
yeah.
alarm. But
Oh,
I,
wow.
it's just amazing how. I mean, I think it was a good thing because it wasn't always like that. In freshman year, I remember going into the bathroom. It was like a sauna with all the
Yeah,
vaping
right,
going on.
yeah. No,
But-
it was-
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like there's always like this, like the person said, like we don't know if this is gonna completely stop it, but it might. It's really gonna put a halt on how the
Yeah.
economic flow is with youth and vaping. So
It's definitely using fear as a tactic
Yeah.
to stop
Yeah.
people, which doesn't always work.
Mhm.
Again, it's a Catholic school. I'm not really surprised by that.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
Catholic schools are always very strict about things like that,
mhm,
from what I've heard.
yeah,
I've never
Mhm.
gone to one, but my parents both went to Catholic schools growing up, and I don't know, stories I've heard, it's very, very harsh,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it
yeah.
makes sense. As I don't know, back to the, I guess, conversation of launch party. I'm sorry, I'm not over the launch party product giveaway
Yeah.
ads on social media. It's like I've seen lately, I don't know if you guys watch like streaming services like Hulu, but there's this, I keep getting the same ads over and over.
Yeah, to choose your ad, and it's like an anti-vaping ad.
Yes, and I always see the same anti-vaping ad, and it's not a bad ad. It's just I've seen it 100 times.
Which
Yeah.
one are you talking about, Leslie? Which one are you talking about?
Metal in your lungs.
Yeah,
No, there's
create a metal
actually-
monster.
There's a few. There's one kid who is sharing his story and saying how it ruined his life because wow, I've seen it so many times I could probably almost recite the line, but it's something to the effect of
yeah,
I used to feel like socially anxious around new people, like strangers, like in school. And I used to be very comfortable around my family and friends, but now it has become that I need to vape around even people I'm comfortable with, is, you know, what he keeps, you know, saying in this commercial.
Kind of gave it kind of gave him like a fake form of confidence, sounds like, right?
That's exactly the words he used.
Yeah,
Have you
fake
seen
form-
this?
Yeah.
Oh my God. No, those are like the exact words. And it's effective in terms of like sharing an anecdote. And then there's another one, which I absolutely hate, this other one I'm about to talk about, because it's the whole like, I guess like idea they were going for is like this girl is possessed by nicotine.
Saw it.
And
Yep.
Oh, wait, I've seen something
she's
like that.
it's this girl in this high school classroom. Makes sense that they're, you know, going for that classroom vibe for the, you know, the target audience there.
Very euphoria.
Yeah. And she starts like losing control over like her limbs, and there's all these like Foley sounds that are like crackling, and they're like, and it's awful.
Like it's The Conjuring.
It's
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah, that's what
It
it
is.
seems like.
It is.
I mean, but Leslie,
Do it.
I
It's
imagine
your brain on
if
vaping.
it was like a music video, then that would be like, I think, cool choreography.
Dude,
right?
that's like a Skrillex.
It probably
music
would
video.
be.
Yeah.
It's, you know, and that's
Yeah.
funny that you bring that up. That's something like that in like a music video or something like
Mhm.
Euphoria. It's like romanticized and like, oh, it's super cool. But in this ad, it takes away all of those glorifying elements, and it's just creepy and like disgusting. But like the reason I remember this commercial is because it's so creepy and disgusting, and I can't stand the sounds. And, you know, I never planned on you know, vaping, but those ads definitely remind me that I shouldn't.
Here's a
So
question that I have. So it seems like the big point of the story and like what happened essentially is that a big chunk of their advertising, like
Yeah.
it limited their ability to market it, to say that it's like an alternative, a safe alternative, to say that it's like a cool thing for kids. Do you guys think that like that is going to be a big determining factor in schools? Do you think like kids are that like manipulated by marketing?
yes.
Like it's interesting. I think that they are, but in a very like
I think just
unconscious roundabout way.
yeah.
Like I don't think like most people literally see like an ad and be like, dang, like that looks really like cool, I want to be like that. And like exactly
yeah.
quite how directly, I guess, how maybe you know, an advertising individual might want to do it. But like I don't know. I think it gets, you know, somewhere, it gets stuck somewhere back there.
I think you opened up kind of an interesting conversation, which is marketing, not even just to children being influenced by that, but adults. Everybody's influenced by marketing in a very unconscious, subconscious way. And it takes a lot of like understanding media literacy to, I guess, not be tricked by that. But I don't think anyone is like immune to that.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
Right?
Like knowing about it doesn't take you away from it.
It can give you a little bit of, you know, something to learn a little bit about media literacy, and understanding how those marketing tactics work. But you'll always still be like, oh man, that's a cool ad for cars. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. It won't make like the burger like any less good.
Right?
Yeah. It won't stop your mouth from watering. Or
Sorry, that really hit because I'm a little hungry. So I was like, oh, that's a great example, Jake. But I digress. We are going to move on to here's what you need to know about Liz Truss, Britain's new leader. Decades later, Truss has risen through the ranks of Thatcher's Conservative Party. Yesterday, she was appointed the United Kingdom's Prime Minister by Queen Elizabeth II. Her victory means she will become the country's third female leader after Thatcher and Theresa May. Truss pledged to cancel out the rise in national insurance that was announced by Mr. Sunak and came into effect in April in order to put more money in citizens' pockets. While she has been
very British sentence. Leslie's dealing
I'm
with.
sorry. I was just like, hold on, British words. While she has been cagey indeed about tackling the cost of the living crisis, Truss has promised to help with energy bills within a week of taking office. She has backed shifting in a greater proportion of healthcare spending towards social care and bringing more doctors out of retirement to help out. Speaking of the healthcare system, she's also known for her anti-abortion views. Truss has moved to reassure Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky that Britain's support for his country in the face of Russian aggression will be steady. How do you guys take all of that?
I mean, I guess it's not that much of a change. Boris Johnson was kind of in the same vein of
Same
that, like
views.
Thatcherism, like British conservatism. It is kind of interesting how conservatism over there, it's similar, but it's not quite what it is over here. I think it's more closer to, I guess, the more moderate Democrats that we have here than
It seems more like a closer to a middle ground.
I don't.
There's that maybe not the
I
right
hate that
wording.
term so much.
Sorry.
I hate it. It's bad.
Jake,
Leslie.
this just in. Jake
No.
Goetz hates the term middle ground.
Middle ground.
Never used
Like,
around
where's
him.
the middle ground? Like, where is it?
That's a really
it means
great
nothing.
question.
It doesn't mean anything. But I do think that, like, when you think of, like, I don't know, I do think that that's a good frame of reference that, like, you know, but yeah, I don't know. Hope it goes well for them.
I hope so as well.
Leslie, a detail I think that I forgot to mention about this story is actually I think Queen Elizabeth broke United Kingdom tradition from appointing this new woman, Liz Truss, to be the prime minister, because usually she appoints people to be prime minister in the United Kingdom in the palace. But instead this time I think she did it in Scotland instead, which is breaking tradition.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
they're big on tradition.
But she's also like 96, so it's like, wow.
yeah, does she
I
know
think
what she
it's
is?
gonna be.
What's the big deal? You know.
Also, who doesn't love Scotland?
I do kind of wonder because I don't know much about like the I guess geographic like border disputes of British, but of like in the UK, but I do know that that's kind of a big like a big thing that gets disputed there, you know, post Brexit and everything.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I wonder if that might be a thing with pretty significant implications doing it in Scotland, which would be
Indeed.
really interesting to get into, but we're not. Let's go on.
We're not. Well, anyways, good luck to Miss Liz Truss. We're going to take a little break here on 90.3 WC Upper Montclair, and we'll see you in a few minutes.
Don't Worry, Darling, which is also starring others like Florence Pugh, Chris Pine, and Gemma Chan. That film already has had so much drama surrounding it between the cast, and the internet's loving it. So the drama is not the only thing that's going on, though. People have been very entertained by Harry's responses at the Venice International Film Press event. So when he was talking about what the best thing about the movie was, he said, quote, "My favorite thing about the movie is it feels like a movie. It feels like a real go to the theater film movie. You know, the reason why you go watch on the big screen."
As opposed to
That
what?
is the funniest thing I've heard.
Harry, are you okay? You can call us if you need to. We're here for you. It's a famous.
So the clip of him saying this has been like going around Twitter, the internet, and like it's the funniest thing. People cannot believe that that was his response, and it's become like an instant meme.
What did he think was gonna happen? That's like me if I'm like trying to figure out like what to say in a presentation. I'm like, this is
No,
a
that's what
great
it felt like.
presentation to watch and view, and yeah.
Like, you hear
That's
him
all I
say
got.
this, and he's trying to find the words, but he's just like circling around himself. Not only that, but like the clip of Harry saying this, it doesn't show Harry, it shows Chris Pine like zoning out throughout the entire like 20-second clip.
Oh,
And this has led to like many photos of Chris Pine just zoning out throughout the panel. Popping up.
oh, that's funny.
Well, it also might have been a thing where Harry might have not been a great moment for him to do an interview.
Yeah.
You know, he just like he wasn't in like the interview mode in his mind to give a answer like that. So that could be a possibility.
I
Wow,
just
really
thought
giving
it
him
was
the
really
benefit of
funny.
the doubt.
I mean, maybe, yeah, because like you have to really.
It
if you
takes
have
a
to-
lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta know
It
like
takes a lot of
when to-
energy, and you got to be really quick-witted. But that's the thing with like interviews. It's like, you know, you probably know what you're going to be asked, and you probably have answers prepped. What are we giggling at? What are we giggling at?
There's no photo. of
Yes,
Chris
I am
Pine.
now seeing this for the
Oh my
first
God.
time. And like, I don't know. As far as the zoning out face looks, I've seen much worse.
There's let me find it real quick.
It seems like a face of deep contemplation.
yeah, like he's in
um,
his own world.
He is. It's
Mhm.
undeniable. The long hair works for him. The fashion's kind of popping off. Kind of looking like a Wes Anderson character. I don't know why my brain's going there, but it's going there.
Yeah, people said that about Harry's luggage. I don't know, something about Wes Anderson style luggage, which
Yeah.
that's just reminded me of it. But it's very entertaining just to look through the photos of Chris because not wanting to be there, I guess.
We've all been there, Chris.
So sad.
We've all been there. Anyways, any other newscasts? Or is that all?
I think there's more.
There's more? Tell me
Yes.
more.
So more about Don't Worry, Darling. So there was also Harry Styles and Chris Pine are just fine, despite the photos I just talked about.
Did not just say that.
Yes. The latest internet conversation connected to the film Don't Worry, Darling involves stars Harry Styles and Chris Pine and an alleged spit take. And
I can't take this serious.
in footage at the Venice Film Festival on Monday, now widely circulated on social media, Styles is seen approaching Pine to take its seat next to the actor at the screening of the thriller. As Styles quickly moves to his seat, it's suggested that he may have spit. Pine looks down on his lap, pauses his applause, and then shakes his hand and grins as if there might have been some kind of joke between the two stars. A representative for Pine told People magazine that, quote, "Just to be clear, Harry Styles did not spit on Chris Pine. There is nothing but respect between these two men, and any suggestion otherwise is blatant attempt to create drama that simply does not exist." Welcome
Wow.
to the internet.
That sounds
Yeah.
that's pretty much what everything is. Celebrities and news.
Along with that, there's also rumors that Harry and Olivia Wilde broke up. Harry and Olivia have not officially announced a breakup, but some think the two are no longer together because of the way they've been interacting throughout their appearances at the film festival. According to Distractify, the two have not appeared together alone in public and have almost always had someone in between them at events like photo calls and even at the premiere. At this time, neither of them have spoke about their relationship status.
Oh my
Dare I
gosh.
say that like this is just I hate when people speculate about celebrities' lives like this.
Yeah.
Like we're reporting this as like news, but like that's all speculation. It's like they haven't been seen together. There's always someone in between them. Like who cares? And it's like if they're broken up, that seems more like their business than yours.
Yeah.
I do think that like, I don't know, I guess this gets into a broader topic, but I do think that like this is like kind of the fundamental problem of the internet, that like you get like these huge public figures and like, I don't know, the way that like their audience feels like this weird ownership of them and like this desire to just know everything about them and consume their personality as like a product. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm like Joker
It's
ranting
like
right now, but
No, that was a really good way to
Valid,
word
yeah.
it. The ownership feeling, and then what you just said about that it's like their personalities are a product, but in reality they're people.
yeah.
Yeah, it's almost
And-
like there's a security camera just following them around for people to watch.
Right. Yeah. Like you're just their constant like yeah.
And it's why so many
Reality TV
celebrities
show.
at some point kind of like take up backseat in terms of being in the
Right.
public eye, and kind of at some point move to maybe somewhere more secluded or spend less time on the internet because
Yeah.
they've been put out like a product instead of a person.
I also think it reminds
And
me
this-
of how I think it was Emma Chamberlain. Emma Chamberlain.
I was
Emma
just gonna let it
Chamberlain,
slide, but you
the
did it yourself.
blogger, and pointed out that like every like popular YouTube blogs have kind of gone out of fashion. There was a period when they were really popular.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But like
Similar
when you think
times,
about like Casey
maybe.
Neistat or Emma Chamberlain, they only did it for like a year and then they had to stop because it was just like too much.
And the people who did it
Um,
for longer than that and kept putting out that content and
Right.
had that regular scheduling of like, okay, video on Tuesdays and Saturdays or something. At some point, all of them got burnt out.
Yeah.
And then
It's-
people were like, where's my content? We miss you.
Mhm.
Where are you? And they're like, I'm going
Like
through
they feel
something.
entitled to them sharing their personal life.
Mhm. And, bless you.
Thank you.
I think
Thank you.
some people have kind of matured and grown up in terms of like that we understand that content is like not sustainable for like a normal person, but other people haven't really seen that yet because maybe they haven't been on the other side, and maybe it's because we're in radio that we can see how long it takes to edit or produce or write a
as
script.
media students.
But when you aren't a part of that, you think this stuff comes together and it is effortless because there's someone behind that on the other side
Right.
making it seem effortless and quick.
Exactly, and that's a big point because like especially with the daily vlogs, like it's a very carefully constructed illusion of effortlessness, of casualness, of this isn't a big deal. I'm just some dude with a camera walking around, except like, especially when I think about someone like Casey Neistat, and actually maybe Neistat's a bad example because his editing is very poppy and it definitely shows itself how much effort is put into it. But I don't know, even something like a simple Emma Chamberlain video is a lot of editing, a lot of prior thought beforehand.
And it's until that you do that stuff they don't realize how long it really takes. What's funny is I heard, I was like chilling in my room, I heard my dad playing the same like 80s song over and over. It is a great song, love the 80s music, but he's playing it over and over, and at some point I'm like, you're driving me crazy, why are you playing this over and over? He's like, I'm trying to make a cool video about the 80s and I'm trying to edit it because I have all these ideas in my head, but I've never edited before and it's taking a long time. He's like, I have all these materials. He's like, I think I'm just gonna have you edit it because you know what you're doing more than I do.
That's so cute.
And I was like, honestly, yeah, because if you play Hungry Like the Wolf one more time, I'm going to lose my mind. Because it was literally the same line over and over. I was just like, dude, just let me edit it at this point. But I mean, he's always been a person, he like, studied like criminology in school, right? Like did the normal job, did the normal thing. And he never tried to edit anything before. And then he sat down to do it. He's like, this is really difficult. And I was like, aha, now you see. So that's just, I guess, some perspective. Miss Cass,
Yes.
do you have any other segment entertainment news for us before we move on?
I have one more thing. So it was also National Cinnamon Day last week on September 3rd on Saturday.
Yes.
So on that day, $3 movie tickets were offered at more than 3,000 theaters across the country, so people could get to the theaters again. With COVID, people haven't really gone to the movie theaters that often. So apparently, it really worked, because according to the National Association of Theater Owners, the discounted price led to 8.1 million people going to the theaters over the long weekend, and it boosted ticket sales by 9%. Some of the top films that drew in big numbers were the re-release of Spider-Man No Way Home, Top Gun Maverick, DC League of Super Pets, and then Bullet Train. So
where is the Minions Rise of Gru in that list?
I'm sorry?
Where is the Minions Rise of Gru in that list?
Oh, I know. I'm disappointed too, man.
Should be there.
Mhm.
Well, that's really cool. Yeah, I mean, 8.1 million people go into theaters.
Yeah, I was like, when I read that, I was like, oh wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And you think about how streaming services work today,
Mhm.
about how movies are so quickly available on there, but people with this deal, they chose to get the old experience back, from before the pandemic, kind of like before the most streaming services came into power, really, in people's entertainment lives. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I think most people can appreciate the theater experience. I think I don't know. I don't think anyone wants to see that go away, but I don't know. Yeah, the prices can get insane. So
Mhm.
when you say $3, I think a lot of people say
Jump at the
say less,
opportunity.
princess.
I think I was also surprised by Spider-Man No Way Home and Top Gun Maverick being the top two.
Right.
It's, they're well-known movies and franchises, but they've been out for a while too. So I was just surprised that more people wanted to go see it.
Dude, I'm shocked anybody wants to see Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah.
So many
My mom
people
wants
have
to see
told me
it.
to see it.
Mm-hmm.
I refuse.
A lot of people really, really
Any
liked
particular
it.
reason?
No.
I mean, it's a sequel to a movie that came out a really long time
Yes.
ago. So it makes sense that it's so high up, because there's lots of hype surrounding that, and
Yeah.
maybe it's it might be a little more lost on maybe our generation, because the first one came out a while ago.
Yeah, no, that's I want to say 80s.
I'm gonna look it up.
Early
Yeah.
80s, I want to say. Or maybe late 90s. No,
Mhm.
like early 90s. I don't know.
Before our time.
Yes, definitely before.
Came out in 1986.
1986,
So kind of when
yeah.
our parents were, in college,
Less old.
high school. I don't know how to do math.
Yeah.
But
No.
it wasn't it's kind of that would be if a movie came out today and 30 years later a sequel came out that we've been waiting for,
Mhm.
and we were telling our kids you gotta go see Top Gun, and then just might not appeal to them because they weren't around when the first one came out. So but that it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So that one I understand, and I should probably watch it. So many people have recommended it to me. I just never got around to it.
Yeah.
Haven't seen the first one, so I'm just but once I see it, I'll probably love it.
Yeah, I think I don't want to watch it because I want to watch the
You're
first
listening
one
to 90.3
understand it.
WMC Upper Montclair real quick. Go back to you, Cass.
Oh, that's right. I don't think I want to watch the Maverick one because I don't really want to watch the first one, but I think I would need to
Yeah.
watch the first
It
one
might
to
be-
understand Maverick.
Maybe it's one of those sequels where you could just watch it on
Like
its
a
own.
standalone.
Although I never recommend that on a personal level, because I just don't. I don't think that should be a thing. But I digress. We're gonna take a short break here on 90.3 WMC Upper Montclair. We'll be right back in a few minutes for Chaos Hour. You are listening to the Morning Buzz on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. Good morning. It is now 8:05 a.m. on Wednesday, September 7th, 2022. Just in case you forgot the year this morning, it's maybe you're still waking up. I'm Leslie Gallagher, joined by Jake Goetz.
Hi.
Cass Diafaria.
Hey.
Aiden Ivers.
Good morning.
And our producer, Laura Zaccardi. You want to say hi? Come say hi. Come on. Good morning. She's hiding in the corner. But since it is a new hour, Aiden, I'm going to hand it to you to give us our news and weather.
Thank you, Leslie. Thank you very much. And good morning, everybody. My name is Aiden Ivers, coming at you live from 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair, hour 2 of the inaugural Fall Wednesday Morning Buzz of the semester. And we got some news to do. In national news, according to NPR.org, the United States government may treat COVID like the regular flu moving forward. We've heard a little bit, as I mentioned earlier, a little bit about how new COVID variants are circulating around our communities. And it may happen, it may become something where we may get like a regular flu shot, but for whatever COVID variant there is, which is pretty interesting. And in statewide news, according to NJ.com, some great news coming out of the county of Bergen, because Cresskill Middle and High School finally reopened yesterday after being significantly damaged by Hurricane Ida just 1 year ago around this time. And yesterday they opened for the 2022-2023 school year. So that's really awesome. And in local news, according to Montclair Local, the school district of Montclair is in the process of creating pre-applications for its pre-K 3- and 4-year-old program as it awaits word from the New Jersey government toward how exactly it will assist the school district in preparing citizens and families with that policy, that program for residents. And for weather, we step foot into another rainy day today with a high of 72 and a low of 61 with humidity at 78%, followed by a sunny Thursday with a high 80 and a low of 59. And into the weekend, we will enjoy the last few bits of summer because Friday, we have a high of 81 and a low of 60. And on Saturday, a high of 84 with a low of 63 with sunny skies. And finally, on Sunday, we will have a high of 83 and a low of 64 with mostly cloudy skies. This has been your hour 2 newscast and weather forecast here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. Back to you, Leslie.
Thank you so much, Aiden. And yeah, it was a rainy day yesterday, and the rain's coming back in Montclair today.
Yeah.
Rain and wind. Not the greatest combination, but
I mean,
you got an umbrella, you got a jacket,
yeah,
and you walk really, really fast to class or wherever you're going, you'll probably be fine.
And if you're in your dorm or at home, it's always good to enjoy the thunderstorm too. We have thunderstorm going on.
Read a book.
Always
protect your cat or dog.
Reading a book by a window.
It's not fun to be in it. It's not fun to be in it, but it's good to listen to, look at.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Sometimes the sounds of rain are kind of like calming.
Yeah, that's
put music over some sounds of rain.
Chill.
Sounds like a great
sounds like
night.
a great lo-fi.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, we hope you're staying dry wherever you may be today. And we are going to talk about Miss Jennifer Lawrence revealing her baby's name. And she is, giving a glimpse into her life as a new mom. And she's officially shared her baby's name. The actor who gave birth in February recently confirmed that she and her husband, Cook Maroney, welcomed a baby boy. In an interview with Vogue, Jennifer also revealed that they named the little boy Cy in honor of American painter Cy Twombly, one of Cook's favorite artists. And while Jennifer is loving life as a new mom, she admits that it took time to get there after experiencing 2 miscarriages, one in her early 20s and one after she had gotten married, which required a D&C procedure. Jennifer says her experiences made her belief in the right to safe abortions even more steadfast. She said, quote, "I remember a million times thinking about it while I was pregnant, thinking about the things that were happening to my body. And I had a great pregnancy. I had a very fortunate pregnancy, but every single second of my life was different. And it would occur to me sometimes, what if I was forced to do this?" End quote. Along with that, motherhood has also made Jennifer take a critical look at gun laws in America. On this matter, she said, quote, "I'm raising a little boy who's going to go to school one day. Guns are the #1 cause of death for children in the United States," end quote. This is not even the first time I've heard this perspective of women becoming pregnant and their views on abortion changing in terms of being more for it or being more positive towards it, because you realize all of the changes that your body goes through. And I've seen a few people, there's at least one or two blogs I follow that have had these same opinions and have said similar things of, if you're forced to do this, it's very different than choosing to. And even if you choose to, it is a lot for your body to go through. So I think it's really cool that Jennifer Lawrence is, taking that opinion and making it more public.
Yeah, I agree, Leslie. And going back to what we were talking about earlier about how, celebrities are always like in the eyes of their follower, whoever follows them, like people are trying to look at every little detail of their life. We hear sometimes about when celebrities are forming families with their significant other that they decide on really strange names for their child just to get a sense of publicity. But Jennifer Lawrence really isn't taking that path, I think. And that's really, I think that's really good thing, because she's not, it doesn't show she's not really swayed by her following, even though she's a very famous actress. She doesn't really see like the pressure of her followers to do what she thinks is right for, her family and herself.
Yeah. I think Psy is a unique name, but it's not so insane that it's gonna like, I don't know, like cause problems for him in school or, get him made fun of or anything like of that sort. Like Psy's, that's a pretty cute name.
Yeah, Psy.
I don't hear it every day, but
I do think it's interesting going back to what you said about like, I don't know, having that lived experience. It does seem like that really is like the best way that some people like see the light on certain issues. I don't know what, like, I don't, nothing
like going
here
through it yourself,
indicates that like this was like a big change in perspective for Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I didn't actually mean to imply that.
No, I don't. No, I don't think
I enforced it.
I think you can have that view, right? And then like going through it can, like you said, reinforce it or give you more of a passion for it or give you more perspective. No, even if you've always had that view. I don't know how Jennifer Lawrence felt previously. I just want to say I don't know.
Yeah, no, of course. But I do think it's interesting, especially when you see certain things, like when you look at someone like Dick Cheney, who's like, conservative in all ways and like, in most ways, but his daughter's gay. So yeah, he's all for gay marriage. And like, I don't know, I think it's interesting to see that kind of play out. And I don't know, I think sometimes it's like, don't get me wrong, lived experience is super great. Like, I'm sure like it's one thing to know something intellectually, but to actually go through it and experience it, I'm sure it's very like transformative, and I guess more grounding in your beliefs. Yeah, and I'm sure that's what maybe Jennifer Lawrence is going through, with experiencing pregnancy and imagining like that it wasn't something that she was autonomously choosing to do.
Yeah, it's something I've learned a lot about recently with everything happening with Roe v. Wade and all of the overturning, basically leaving it to the states to decide. A lot of people speaking out about like their pregnancy experience, and it's like, even when you do choose to do that, because it's a lovely and beautiful thing, it is difficult.
No, it's rough.
It's a person growing inside of you, and it takes on a lot of changes mentally and emotionally, and not having the choice to do that is just, it's very, I think, taxing on a person. And not to get crazy political on the buzz, I mean, those are my opinions.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, it is wild. The New York Times did a really interesting piece pretty soon after Roe v. Wade was overturned, on their podcast The Daily, where they interviewed people who worked at abortion clinics that had to turn people down.
That sounds like
people who, and that was it was a very tough listen for me. And I think for anyone, who's empathetic, it's to see like the people in those situations and to hear from the people who had to break that news to them.
Right. And to also imagine how it feels on the other side of being told that news. You go in with thinking one thing is going to happen today, right? And then you walk out with the opposite, and then you just have to figure out something else. And usually that figure out something else in that particular situation is, have a baby.
Yeah.
Which
it's just
is
what you have to
extremely
do.
life-changing.
Or find a way to get out of the state, which is
Oh,
not
right.
like just a thing you can just do.
And that's also very difficult because if you went to like somewhere else
Right.
where it is legal, that that's not where you're from.
Mhm.
So that's
And the legality of that is
yeah,
very questionable, right?
extremely. And it's
so like, do you have to
how do
move
you
to
get-
this place? That's a
right. And
that's
then
a whole thing.
can you even do that in time? Because that's a very sensitive,
right.
very
Yeah.
short window
Very
you have to do that
time-sensitive thing.
safely. So there's a lot of factors going on in there. But
yeah, but Leslie, I want to mention one thing. I mentioned, like how you said before, it's really difficult when a woman goes through that process of getting pregnant, right? I remember last fall from my communication lecture, we had to watch like a documentary of our choice, and I chose to watch one about Beyonce.
Cool.
And in it, it was like a concert documentary mix, and in it she describes the process of like practicing, going through rehearsal after rehearsal for this big show while she was pregnant, and
wow,
while she had a baby with her husband Jay-Z. And she said how she once it was over, she had to recalibrate her whole system because it was all a bunch of choreography moving around after just having a baby. It's really, really strenuous, so that's really, I think,
that's a
something,
lot on your body.
yeah, something really
That's a
interesting to think
lot.
about. Something really interesting.
Very interesting. And definitely also interesting that Jennifer Lawrence brings up, bringing a child into this world where there's so many threats of violence and such. I always think about that on a, I guess, more of a personal note, but I don't know if anyone else had any thoughts on that. No, tough crowd. Anyways,
Talk for like how long?
if you are a little hungry this morning, then this debate may either encourage you to go to your local bagel store, or it may make you very angry because maybe you're at work and you haven't eaten yet.
Or maybe you have strong feelings about the subject matter.
Maybe
It
you
is something that's been known to rile people up. So New Jersey's very own Danny DeVito goes rogue in Taylor ham versus pork roll debate. Do you say pork roll or Taylor ham? Everyone in New Jersey has an opinion, and they're not afraid to say it. The latest voice to the Garden State's underlying culinary battle is Danny DeVito, the acclaimed actor and Asbury Park native who shared his side in a recent video posted on Wired's YouTube channel on August 24th. In the video titled, Danny DeVito Answers the Web's Most Searched Questions, Danny answered a question about what his accent is, and he says it's very Jersey, South Jersey. South Jersey, okay. Maybe all those Always Sunny in Philadelphia episodes warped his brain. Anyway, someone from behind the camera then asked, quote, is it Taylor ham or pork roll? Pork roll, sorry. Ours are tough for me. He answers, quote, oh, Taylor ham. Taylor ham has a hard roll with some mustard and lettuce. Oh, man.
That is not the right way.
I want one now.
That is not the right way to eat Taylor ham, but I digress.
Okay. According to NJ.com, Taylor ham and pork roll are not perfectly interchangeable. All Taylor ham is pork roll, but not all pork roll is Taylor ham. And Taylor refers to the brand. We look forward to explaining this again in a few months.
Wait, Taylor, the brand?
Yeah.
I thought we were talking about Taylor Swift. I'm not even.
What?
Imagine if Taylor
Honestly,
Swift owned Taylor.
I'm all right with that. I'm all right with that. Taylor, the brand, I don't know her. I know Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Do we dare go around and say our opinion on this?
Well, I can tell you mine,
think-
Leslie. I'm not New Jersey resident, so
So you don't care?
not really. No, I'm not.
Oh, so where are you from, Aiden?
Staten Island, New York.
Oh, right, I knew that.
But there's just the names Taylor ham versus pork roll. Taylor ham sounds
Doesn't make a
more
difference.
appetizing to me. Honestly.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's my argument.
For
Always.
me, I think there is no winning here.
Yeah.
Either way,
I know, I
there's
totally
no
talked to you about
good
this
answer to this question because, Taylor ham, it sounds nice. And that's normally,
Sounds
I will admit,
much
it's what
better.
I say. But also, again, it's a brand. Taylor is a brand, and that's brand loyalty. And I think that's actually pretty cringe.
But like, don't we do that for so many other
Yeah,
things?
I know, like to an extent, like
we don't even
Band-Aid.
realize- exactly, we don't even- like
Chapstick,
chapstick.
yeah.
Chapstick's a
Oh,
brand.
really? I didn't know that.
Are you sarcastic right now?
No, I did not get that.
It's a brand. It's not the product is like lip balm. The
Right,
chapstick is
yeah.
the brand.
That's bizarre. Jeez, that's the thing.
Or like when people say Kleenex, could you hand me a Kleenex?
I'm gonna
Kleenex is a
Google
brand.
something.
You're giving them a tissue.
Tissue. Yeah.
You know, and
So
we
you
do
have a
it
Kleenex?
subconsciously. It's in our like culture. So that's why
dude.
when people say the brand debate, I'm sorry, I think it's dumb because
Yeah.
you could say that about every other word that we say.
Well, it's not like
and you don't.
every word though.
Not
Like,
every
it's just,
word,
like,
but every other word that we use in that way. No one else has a problem with us saying the brand.
I mean, I do though.
You do, but other people who argue just
Okay,
use it.
generally, I
this.
think it's cringe. But
Generally,
when
I'm
it
gonna do that
invades my
around you more
language
now.
like that, I'm not gonna do a linguistic like jumping jacks just to like not be cringe. Like it's
Yeah,
worth it.
embrace
I'll
it.
say Taylor Ham. I'll say Band-Aid. I don't say Kleenex because I'm not 50.
I've heard that one.
Sorry, I didn't mean to hit my mic. Anyone who heard that, I hit my head on the mic.
Yeah. So Taylor Ham it sounds nice, but it's kind of cringe because brand loyalty. Pork roll just sounds gross,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Pork roll sounds
Um,
disgusting.
It does.
I know it's the same thing, but I say
Yeah.
Taylor Ham because it sounds
I
more.
didn't know this was a debate until like last year when somebody asked
Same
me.
here.
Are you from
what
here?
It is. I'm like, what are either? I'm like, it's just ham on a roll.
No, it's Taylor Ham. Oh wait, where are you from though, Cass?
Central Jersey, Middlesex.
Okay, like okay, you're from Middlesex. Okay,
Middlesex County. Yeah.
because you just okay, so that makes sense, I guess. Why you don't? I mean, like when you go into a bagel store in your lovely hometown, what does it say on the menu?
I don't go to a bagel store in my hometown.
You don't go to bagel stores in your hometown.
I never knew where the good ones were. People just show up with bagels.
They're all good ones. They're
like,
all good
bagels,
ones,
I never
Cass.
asked them.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm from North Jersey. Big bagel person. So I'm in them like every week. And all the signs say Taylor Ham. So that's what I grew up saying. I don't know if I even heard pork roll until a little maybe like high
last
school.
fall, like last fall.
Oh, last fall for real.
That's when I
For you.
decided it.
Well, Danny DeVito says Taylor Ham. And I think that's all we can say about that. I think New Jersey will always be divided. And it's such a silly thing. You know, it's really not that important. I don't think anyone, I get fake angry about it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But yes, we are going to take a quick break here on The Buzz on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. We'll be right back in a few minutes. Welcome back to the Morning Buzz. You're listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. Again, this is the Morning Buzz, our morning news show. We're in chaos hour because it's after 8. My name is Leslie Gallagher. We are joined in studio, Jake Goetz, Castia Feria,
Wow.
Aiden Ivers, and our producer, Laura Zaccardi. You want to give us a yeah? Perfect. So that's everyone we've got going on here. And we are doing okay. So sometimes here on the Buzz, we do some Redditing. If you don't know, Reddit is an app where anyone can anonymously share really funny or silly or not appropriate for air things. But it is a wonderful place where I often scroll, and I will just say that these stories are not our personal experiences. They are questions and situations from users on Reddit, where anyone from the internet can share anything. But we're going to be looking at the subreddit of dating advice, which is one of my favorites, mostly because it is so dumb. So thank you, Laura, for putting this in. This is one I saw last night. I genuinely was like eating ice cream and scrolling through this. Here goes. Here's the title. The titles always get me too. She texted she's looking forward to first date because it's a nice, quote, treat after work. ... What's that mean? And then we go a little more into the story where this Redditor says, don't have much experience, I'm assuming, with dating at 29, but this is the first time in a long time I've really felt a connection with a girl, and I'm nervous. I'll be fine when I get there, but man, the anticipation, it's almost too good to be true. She's smart, pretty, athletic, seems very nice, and family oriented, has a good job. I told her I'm looking forward to meeting her, and she said, me too. It'll be a nice treat after working all day. She actually messaged me first as soon as we matched. In all honesty, I really respect her for her profession, and she's been working really hard for a promotion. I think she's probably been stressed. I want to make tonight good for her. I've just never heard a girl call a date a treat. I'm not really down to do anything on the first date, and I'm pretty confident she isn't either. And you can understand what that implies, but I cannot spell it out for you more than that.
I actually have to say, I've never been a big fan of the word treat. Unless you're talking about
later, Jake.
No, you unless you're talking about like trick or treating, that's cool. Trick or treating.
You're not giving dogs treats?
No, actually, I was gonna say that's the reason. No, that's the reason I feel so weird about it, because it
Halloween
feels like whenever I think of like a treat for like a person, it makes me think of a treat for a dog. Like a dog treat sounds fine. Honestly, that's normal to me, like when I think of like a treat for a dog. But when like somebody calls like M&Ms, like, ooh, can I get like one of those treats? I'm like, what are you?
An M&M.
You think of like dog biscuits.
What are you talking about, you sick weirdo?
No, like I don't think people say the regular.
No.
No.
I also have that kind of like correlation in mind, but also so many people use this word. It's just like, oh, I'm gonna treat myself to some coffee.
That kind of works.
That's okay.
Like I think a verb is probably better, but
then I think
we're not
as a verb.
We're not doing a total linguistic analysis here.
No, actually, I want to, because I think it is a verb. Like when you say like, I'm going to treat myself to something, I'm going to treat, like that means like treat something with care. It's not like a noun of like a treat as in like, I don't know.
So you have a problem with this girl calling a date a treat?
I don't think it's wrong, but I think it's
Imagine if you were going on a date with someone, they're like, I'm looking forward to tonight. It'll be a nice treat.
I think language is important.
You would be grossed out. And you'd probably cancel.
I wouldn't cancel. I'd just be like, oh, okay, word. And I'd be like, all right, I guess I'm going on a date with this girl. It's kind of cringe. I might tell them and make fun of them for it.
Your grammar is inadequate.
I don't think it's like bad grammar. It's not grammatically incorrect. I just think it's a stylistic.
Or you'd rather not.
It's a stylistic
grievance.
I understand, but also basically when I was looking at this subreddit, basically me and every other person commenting was like, dude, you're overthinking this.
Yeah.
Because I think he interpreted treat differently than how Jake is.
Yeah.
You just think of dogs. This guy is thinking like, oh, I don't even know what he's thinking, but
I mean-
he's taking it like too literally.
Yeah.
Either
Too
way,
far,
That would be-
yes. So he's thinking
whether he
ahead.
thinks that like she's assuming he's gonna pay or whatever will happen, you know, he's assuming more, or just like, I don't know, like overthinking it. I think she's just like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm gonna look
Yeah.
forward to this after work because it sounds like fun.
Mhm.
Okay. I feel like, okay, I'm gonna be a little mean. I feel like some
think you
guys
should.
are just really, really pathetic, and they just can't imagine that like spending time with them is
Mhm.
like fun,
Yeah, maybe it's just a big insecurity
right?
thing.
Yeah. No, I think
That's probably what
that's
it
the
comes
vibe I
down
get.
to.
Like, why would you call spending time with me a treat?
That's
Like,
literally what he said, right?
Yeah. No, that's literally like, are
Like,
you
from it.
expecting something?
Like, why would you think that that's a fun thing? Why do you want to hang out with me? I'm just so
Yeah.
awful.
No, like, are you expecting something else? Like,
I know, and it's really
because it's just
yeah.
me.
it's really simple though. Like a lot of people overthink, I think, like dating and relationships sometimes. Sometimes it's just a small thing, like getting together for dinner.
Yeah.
Like,
just
that sounds
vibing with
lovely.
someone for coffee is just a great time.
Yeah.
You don't
nice.
have to have anything extravagant or
Nothing
spectacular.
needs to happen after. Like, it's
That's a treat.
yeah, it's just vibing with someone is a treat. Ew, I hate saying
Oh, really? I'm just trying to like see how long it takes to like for us to say it, to just like
all right.
treat.
Okay, if I hear that word again.
I'm gonna buy you some coffee later. It'll be my little treat.
All right. This next story.
Take it away.
This next poor hopeless Redditor. Does this girl even like me? Very confused. Why does every Redditor write like Donald Trump?
Very
Okay,
confused.
very confused. Sad. Okay. Long story short, I've been on 5 dates with this girl. She lives in Miami and I live in Fort Lauderdale, which is an hour away from me. Wait, Miami is an hour away. He says I live in Fort Lauderdale, which is an hour away from me. Okay. Jesus. Okay.
Are you
He always drives
rolling
up
the
to see me when we go out, besides our second date where I went to Miami to see her. I plan out all our dates and they're fun. I feel the
Wait,
need
he
to tell you
plans
that.
out all the dates
Yeah,
and he usually makes them in his own town. So she almost always travels.
yeah.
I'm sensing a
Yeah, she
one-way
always drives
street.
up to see me.
I also feel it's really important for you to know that this individual used the wrong version of there.
There.
They use THERE.
Adds more to the picture.
Yeah. A normal date for us is 3 to 4 hours, but yesterday, being that we were both off due to the holiday, we spent all day together when we both didn't expect
Aw.
it. We met up at noon and didn't finish the date till 11 at night. She even said that she thought it was only going to be a couple hours. We had sushi lunch first, then went to an arcade and a park for mini golf, bumper boats, batting cages, and arcade games. Then we went to a Mexican restaurant thinking that that was our last stop. We decided to dip after the chips and salsa to go see a movie. After that, we went to Cheesecake Factory for some
Lots
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
they're hitting stuff up. Okay. We texted each other when we got home, but the thing is, she never texts me, period, unless we are making plans to meet up. No text conversations ever. In person, she's chatty, but I honestly just don't feel like she likes me, which is really putting me off. We don't hold hands or barely even touch. You think I have the plague or something? I don't know what to do. I like her, but I would like her so much more if she just showed a little interest in me. I'm about to tell her this isn't working and moving on, or should I just not say anything and let it go?
I have a lot of thoughts.
Mhm.
I'm just kind of confused. Like 5 dates, but like where she's coming to see you. But
And he
like,
always plans them that way. I
yeah,
don't like that. But that's not even what he's asking
Mhm.
about.
But I think that there is some form of interest if this girl is driving like all the
Yeah.
time to him.
Yeah. I mean, an hour drive is.
That's what I was about to
And then
say.
hour
Is
drive
like,
back.
I think people, this kind of goes into like, I guess, love languages and such. But like people show interest in different ways. She's spending all this time with you.
Mhm.
She's driving to see you. And maybe she's just not a touchy person, or maybe she's just like nervous.
Mhm.
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 Maybe this is still pretty new. I mean, like 5 dates.
Like how short a date?
That's-
Does she know you well enough?
I mean, if
maybe?
they're normally like, it sounds like they're only a few hours normally, maybe like 3. I don't know, like, I don't know, say dinner and a movie or something, like 3-4 hours. And if you times that by like 5, that's 20 hours. You've spent less than a day with this person. And they don't text in between either. So they're not getting to know each other in between. So this is like pretty slow. So maybe she's just like nervous. And I think this dude is overthinking it. But either way, if he's, the kind of person where, maybe he's more into like physical touch or physical affection, maybe this just is not the person for him. And maybe it's just like that kind of fundamental thing. It's just not that deep. I think she's interested in him. It's just like, I feel like Reddit and dating advice, dude, it always comes to one thing: just talk to the person instead of going on Reddit.
I don't know.
Every
The vibes
time
I get from this dude is like, where is my happy baby bouncy girlfriend? Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
Very
like just expecting whatever.
Yeah, very 12-year-old, very
like, why doesn't she touch me? Why didn't you me?
Yeah,
Like,
that
I hope
attitude.
that the dates are fun. Like something about this is like insecure.
Very, very. It's pretty much similar to like the last thing we were talking about. Is like, I don't know. There's something that he said here that was very insecure that I already forgot.
So
I don't even know.
I guess my dating advice to these two young, presumably gentlemen, but whatever they happen to be, stop being pathetic, get off Reddit.
Oh, I was like, he clearly said he was dating a girl.
I mean, yeah.
But then you meant gentlemen as in like the first and second people. Is that what you meant?
Yeah.
Oh, I was like very confused for a second.
They're the ones asking for advice, right?
They're all asking. I mean, it's under the dating advice subreddit.
Commentary.
Yeah.
So everyone's always asking for advice.
Do you think like, how weird do you think it would be if they knew that like there was a radio show talking about their thing?
Well, they put it on the internet. So
No, right? Like, they know. And they must be
that's
aware
their-
that it like
that's
hit the
their
top
fault.
page or
There's
anything.
the
But
story yesterday that Gabby was reading, and it said at the Reddit post that this girl was complaining about this girl she knew, and the girl being complained about was like, I don't like how you put this on Reddit, and she was like, too bad. And then it was on a PDF. Ironic. So yeah, if you put things on the internet,
Be prepared.
radio hosts might talk about it.
we just might talk about it. And
Anyone can see it, yo.
I hope it's just as silly as these things. It all comes down to dating advice is always like very like trivial.
Yeah.
Like the subreddit, not like actual dating advice. It's always like it's either really small issues or like huge issues. But, like, there's no in between.
Yeah.
These are very, very trivial. If you ask me, these are just like kind of like fixable communication things that are just not that big of a deal, but that's just me. I digress. We're going to take a little bit of another break here on the Morning Buzz. We will see you in a few minutes on 90.3. Finish it out for me, guys.
WMSC Upper Montclair.
to the morning buzz on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. And I'm Leslie Gallagher, your host, with Jake Goetz.
Hi.
Hi. That's all you got for us?
Hey, what's up?
Perfect.
Oh, there's a story. Do you want to hear about that?
No, not yet. We're getting there. Cass Diafaria. Hey. Aiden Ivers.
Hello.
And in the corner, like a little gremlin, Lars, a cardiac producer. Wow. I don't know why. You still have corn energy. Hear that corn? It has the juice. It has the juice. So imagine more boop. Same. Actually, a really beautiful thing is a song we just played called "Do Your Worst" by the Happy Fits, which is a band we had here over the summer play live.
I've been with us.
Some of the kindest people ever.
They
And
played that song.
Man, they did play that song. We heard that live,
Right.
And man, they are good at music. Oh my God,
You do the thing pretty well.
they do the thing real well. I really enjoyed it, but you know what I really enjoy more is Jake. I do enjoy Korn quite a bit, but I really enjoy when Jake does a news story.
Yo, that's crazy. I got one right here.
OMG.
Okay. Pregnant woman who fought a $215 fine for driving alone in a carpool lane gives birth days after receiving another ticket. Quote, "My second passenger has arrived."
Sorry. Go ahead. So that was really funny.
A pregnant woman who she didn't buy it. She fought a $215 fine for driving alone in a carpool lane in Texas has given birth a month after receiving a second ticket. It's about a month after the first ticket that she was pulled over and ticketed again. Brandy Batone, 32, who is 34 weeks into her pregnancy. I didn't know pregnancy was that long. Jeez.
40 weeks.
Wow.
9 months.
At the
Technically
time
10 months, but it's a whole
first citation. Oh, weeks. I thought like 34 months. Like I always just like, geez, that's a very long time to be pregnant. Just like for like how like a year and a half. Gosh. At the time of her first citation, was stopped by police in June for driving by herself in the carpool lane on the way to pick up her son. Patone argued that with the officer that she hadn't violated any laws for driving in the carpool lane, claiming that because of Texas's abortion laws, the fetus she was carrying was considered a human and a passenger. Patone told the outlet, quote, "If a fetus is considered a life before birth, then why doesn't that count as a second passenger? Under Texas's 6-week abortion ban, a fetus is considered to be a person when determining whether a crime is committed." After hearing her case, a judge dismissed her first ticket, but in following month of July, a then pregnant Patone was issued a second ticket for riding in the carpool lane by herself again. Grouch told NPR that Patone's second case is still pending. She announced in an Instagram post that she has given birth to a girl. She wrote in the post, quote, "My second passenger has arrived. We are so in love and we'll be spending all our time loving on baby girl." Loving our baby girl.
Yeah, that was a really sweet ending to a very at a glance might seem a lighthearted story, but is an interesting perspective on how sometimes people pick and choose when to define things as certain things.
Yeah.
And I love how she argued this.
No,
because it makes so much sense.
True.
Logically.
I love that she did it again. Like she
did it again.
Her guns. Like, okay, word.
She's like, I'm gonna do it again, and hopefully I don't get caught. And then she did.
Yeah,
but but that time she was actually riding completely by herself.
It sounds like to me there are a few legal loopholes within the story, because like as he's talking about Jake, and with the way that Texas is right now with their legislation, regarding like abortion and stuff, it like some things can count as something under the legislation, but under like another section and driving laws might be a whole different thing, a whole different playing field. So I think that's really, interesting how they conflict with one another, and it's kind of how it's like the technicalities of stuff. Like, well, this says this, but this other part of the law says this, so
there's lots of those.
Yeah,
there's definitely a lot. I like how she used that to her advantage. But moving on to a little more east, we're going from Texas to North Carolina. More than 100 students baptized without parents' permission at a North Carolina school. And this is from thehill.com. A North Carolina school apologized after baptizing more than 100 children without their parents' permission. Northwood Temple Academy, a private Christian school in Fayetteville, posted on Facebook on Thursday, quote, "I feel it in my bones. You're about to move. Today, we had over 100 middle and high school students spontaneously declare their faith and get baptized today. We'll have more pictures of these powerful moments posted over the next couple of days," end quote. That morning, 3 students had their scheduled baptisms at the school as part of Spiritual Emphasis Week. The offer was then extended to other students who had not been scheduled. More than 100 students in total were baptized. Renee McLam, the head of the school, sent families a letter to explain. McLam said in the letter, which was obtained by the Observer, quote, "The Spirit of the Lord moved and the invitation to accept the Lord and be baptized was given, and the students just began to respond to the presence of the Lord," end quote. The school says it typically notifies and invites parents to be present for any baptism that happen on campus, and quote, "It was not the intention of any faculty member to do anything behind a parent's back or in any kind of secret way," end quote.
But
very interesting.
That kind of sounds like exactly what they did. Like
That's exactly what
not
they
doing
did.
anything behind the parents' back, but
that's
they invited hundreds of people to get baptized without their knowing.
Yeah, it's totally their policy. I wonder why on this particular day we decided to throw policy out the window and just baptize 100 kids.
Yeah, when you think about it, yeah, and to get baptized, it's a pretty like it's documented. It's like I'm baptized myself, and I have a document to prove that. So it's not like
it's an eventful thing.
Yeah,
and not only should you get a parent's permission for, it should also be if that's something that both the child and the parent want. The parent should be prepared for. It's a big deal.
Should be like with their consent and knowledge, not without them knowing. I don't think that's okay.
Definitely, and also, for some, a cause of celebration.
Yeah,
baptism
shower.
If it's something that everyone is happy about, like I was like literally 0 years old, but I'm pretty sure my parents had some sort of gathering before or after my baptism.
We had a gathering for my cousin, like right after we went to like the apartment and celebrated.
Yeah, just like a little cake, and then you send everyone home. Yeah. But it's like it can be a happy and good thing, but being blindsided like this as a parent, like one day your kid comes home and they're like, "Mom, I was baptized. What'd you do at school today? I was baptized." What is that?
Yeah.
What made me laugh was the Facebook thing. It said you're about to move. I'm like, somebody's parents are about to move.
That was like such funny wording that, sorry if I sounded cartoonish when I said it, but it was like, "We feel it in our bones." Woo! And I'm just like, what? Like, that's great. I'm all for anyone following any religion, and being connected to whatever higher power they believe in, because that's a beautiful thing to believe in something and practice that. But this is
this is a
lot, and this is like something like children or young adults, whichever you call it, legally I think cannot make that decision. I guess like if they're under 18, I don't know, you can probably, because they did it. But also that's a little odd,
because like if we're looking at different in the Catholic religion, the sacrament like confirmation,
right,
you need a sponsor for that,
right, and someone who's like an adult who's been a part of
who's been baptized, who's had confirmation, so
right, and who's been also committed to it as well.
Yeah, it's like they got to sign. They got to sign a contract.
You have to be committed.
So it's not religion. Like I don't. It's like you said, Leslie. It's not something I don't think kids can make choices on their own. I think it's some parent or guardian is needed.
Like it's something to think about.
And that goes either way. I remember when I was about 13, and I told I had been going to church every week and a CCD class every Wednesday, which was like a class to learn about Catholicism. And at some point I told my parents, like, I don't want to go anymore. I don't really believe in it. And I made that decision at 13, and they of course were taken aback because they had been raised Catholic their whole life, and to hear their third child be like, "I don't want to do this anymore," they like sat down with me and we talked about it a little bit, but at some point they were like, "Okay, if this is what you believe, I'm not going to make you do it." But it goes both ways, whether it's taking a step back from a religion or entering into it, and baptism is like I said, it's such a huge deal.
Yeah.
You know.
And I think like with this story relating back, I think the parents should have known what was going on. Not like just like,
Feel bad
hey,
for
let's get baptized, free baptism.
Yeah.
And then it's also like if kids aren't properly informed about what that really, I guess means.
I'm sure like the school taught them like what it is.
Yeah.
Nothing like it's not like
it's not like a concept that's probably beyond them. Like they probably understand it, but also like what it means for like I guess like more so your commitment to the church. I mean, it is a Christian school, but
yeah, that's the thing. Like I feel like expecting like all this stuff about like, oh, but they like it's a Christian school, they don't care. Like I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing is like they,
yeah, I don't know. I just kind of think stuff like that just I don't know. I don't want to come down. I don't want to be too spicy here, but I really am not a big fan of the idea of Christian schools or any like religious schools in general. Like I think it's fine for like an after school program or anything, that's cool. But like I think like learning about like the world and like I think education is a very serious thing that people should take seriously. And like I think mixing those two things, I like the idea of people learning theology, which is just like I don't know, like understanding like the text of like different maybe religious
absolutely
things,
and that's for all religions.
No, like all stuff.
Of them.
Yeah, world religions is a really
it's a fascinating topic that I think people should have a general education about. I think it should be included, but like I don't know,
more included.
Yeah, like it. I don't know. Christian schools really don't pass my vibe check.
This Justin does not pass Jake's vibe check. So also, don't use the word treat as a noun around him.
Things that don't pass the vibe check. Using treat as a noun. Christian schools. What else? I don't know. Lots of things.
Lots of things. Well, how do you feel about spray cheese?
Generally,
I don't like it. But you're okay with it?
Generally favorite, especially on a cheesesteak.
Especially
wait, spray cheese on cheesesteak?
Wait, no. There's like a weird I'm thinking of something else. But no, generally I haven't had cheesesteak in a while, but it passed the vibe check.
No, spray cheese.
The cheese from the can.
Yeah.
No, it took me a sec. My brain did a weird.
Wait, what's the difference between? Is that the same thing as like cheese whip? Cheese whip, is that the same thing?
Well, they put cheese whiz on cheesesteaks. That's why I said that. And I think
on cheesesteaks.
I think, or at least some version. I don't know if it's like the cheesesteak, like the like spray cheese. I don't know if we're talking about the same spray cheese.
Well, I was talking about the spray cheese in reference to the argument over spray cheese that landed a West Monroe woman in jail, allegedly attempting to tase a family member.
Yeesh.
Which is an article from, wow. That looks like a difficult word to say. Marklemus.com. Yeah. Jake?
Yeah. So on September 2nd, 2022, at 12:39 p.m., West Monroe police were dispatched to a residence in the 100th block of South 8th Street in West Monroe, LA, in reference to a disturbance. Upon arrival, officers made contact with the victim, who mentioned that their older sister, 19-year-old Princess Ariana Williams, allegedly struck them several times during an argument over spray cheese. According to authorities, the victims stated that they were struck in their stomach several times by Williams. Also, Williams allegedly chased the victim outside of the residence with a taser. Officers made contact with Williams, and she advised police that her family members were not telling the truth. According to Williams, she never struck the victim. Williams was placed under arrest and taken to the Ochata Correctional Center. She was charged with simple battery and aggravated assault.
Oh, because of cheese.
Imagine explaining it to the officer. Like,
so,
this happened because of
story.
cheese.
It says it came from an argument about spray cheese.
I need to know what was the argument.
Yeah, like
spray cheese. We need more details.
Is there any? It doesn't seem that the web is providing anything else.
I would really like to know.
Do we have any hot takes on spray cheese that might have started this?
It's gross, but that's about it.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
It's disgusting.
But like, I guess the other person was just so passionate about it.
I really want to know now, but there's no more details displayed in this article, which is so sad.
That erupted.
So we can only let our imaginations run. But, this just makes me recall our conversation from earlier of how so many New Jerseyans get upset about the Taylor ham and pork roll. And guys, I think it's time to declare peace and just agree to disagree, because we don't want to, we don't want to argue.
I don't want to get tased.
We don't want to do that.
Yeah.
No.
I say we put it to an end.
We have world peace in this room right now.
In this room, we have world peace in this room of 5 people.
Mhm.
World.
World. I said what I said.
World.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure, whatever floats your boat. Yes. I'll be wondering all day what that spray cheese debate
No,
was
it
about.
sounds like everyone's speculating. I'm like reading another article that I found on it, and they don't seem to know anything else. Like,
They
they're
don't
just
know.
speculating. Like, they're saying that, like, maybe
Maybe she was
they
upset
both
about the
wanted
sodium.
cheese and they were fighting about it. Maybe they were angry that they didn't get real cheese, they got spray cheese.
That's what I'm thinking. Is like one of them bought spray over real, and they thought it was the same thing. Or maybe it's like, what it always comes to.
Dude, could you
Money.
imagine
Maybe
you're
spray
like,
cheese is
"Hey,
expensive."
can you pick up some cheese?" And they're like, "Word," and like they come back and it's like, "I got some cheese," and it's like in a can.
Ew! Imagine they're like, let's make deli sandwiches at home, and it's just spray cheese.
Oh.
According to the internet, you could get a spray cheese from Target from $4.99 if you would like.
Why would you say that?
No, it sounds like a call to action.
Yeah, it did.
But it wasn't. Spray cheese. That's pretty expensive. But also, like, real cheese is expensive, but it's so much better.
Yeah.
Because it's real cheese.
Like, you could just buy a block of sharp cheddar and go for it. That's what I would do.
A lot healthier. Well,
yes, because there's not a bunch of stuff put in it. And anyways, if you like spray cheese, you're listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. We're talking about cheese as we are ending our time on
We're
the
really
Morning
gonna end it
Buzz.
like that.
I really didn't know how else to end it, and that's the decision I came to in the moment. But yes, we are closing out the Morning Buzz. We hope you have a lovely day, and of course, it may rain, like Aiden said. So you may want to have a light jacket or an umbrella. This has been the Morning Buzz Wednesday edition with producer Laura Zaccardi, myself, Leslie Gallagher, Jake Goetz, Castia Faria, Aiden Ivers, and I already mentioned me, but thank you.
You again.
And yes, have a lovely day.
bye.